From snow, let's talk about heat. A severe heat wave has engulfed large parts of India. Temperatures have surged, breaching the 40°C mark in several states and even reaching as high as 46°C in some regions. Data shows that 98 of the world's 100 hottest cities are currently in India.
The country is at the center of an intense heat wave episode. Record-breaking temperatures are raising serious concerns about the impact. In northern India, temperatures have crossed 40 degrees in multiple states, including Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, New Delhi, Haryana and Punjab. Authorities have issued advisories urging residents to take necessary precautions. In the Kashmir Valley, thunderstorms accompanied by gusty winds are predicted at several locations, offering some relief from the prevailing heat.
February, we had seen almost no precipitation over entire Jammu and Kashmir and many parts of Himalayan states like Himachal and adjoining Uttarakhand. Because of this, the temperatures have been risen to almost 10, 12 to 15 degrees Celsius above normal.
People are being advised to stay hydrated, avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight, and limit outdoor activities during peak hours in various parts of Jammu division. Health experts warn that excessive heat exposure can lead to serious conditions, including heat stroke. Tourists visiting the valley say they are pleased to be here during the peak heat wave across India.
Yeah, the heat. So in some ways, I've been traveling from the east to the west of India, fairly up north. But just come from Amritsar, where it was getting quite hot. But of course, that has its own beauty, as every part of India has. It's got its own sort of charm about it and stuff. But I think here is quite. It's like a lovely. I feel very lucky to come at this very ripe season. Everything feels very perfect, like the weather's perfect, and it's quite nice. I mean, it kind of reminds me of the UK when it gets quite chilly at night as well, so it's nice to have a bit of a taste of home, because everywhere else is very hot, isn't it?
We have come from Mumbai, where temperatures are around 37 to 40 degrees centigrade, so it's far more pleasant here in comparison. Back home, it's difficult to even step outside at this time of day. We had expected it to be quite cold here and thought we'd need jackets, especially in April, but it's not that cold at all. In fact, I'm enjoying an ice cream without needing any warm clothing.
The Met Department has issued an advisory urging farmers to suspend all farm operations on April 28th. Hot and dry weather is expected to persist over the next 24 hours in districts such as Jammu, Kutwa, Samba, Riyasi and Udhampur. Residents have been advised to avoid direct heat exposure during peak hours and to stay well hydrated by drinking fluids.
India has been gripped by severe heat wave conditions, with temperatures soaring from 40 to 46 degrees at multiple locations. States like Haryana, Punjab, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, as well as the Union Territory, the national capital New Delhi, are experiencing severe heat wave conditions. The Met Department says for the next 7 days, the temperatures can go further up, creating severe intense heat wave conditions. People have been advised in all these states to take precautions and not to go out in sun, and also keep themselves hydrated. If we talk about Jammu and Kashmir, the Met Department says areas like Kutwa, Samba and Jammu city are experiencing heat wave conditions as well, and for the next few days the temperatures will rise there as well. In the Kashmir Valley, the temperatures are 2 degrees above the normal. Meanwhile, the Met Department has predicted rainfall by the afternoon and also gusty winds across the Kashmir division. With video journalist Feroz Idris Sloan for WION World is One.
Tensions continue to surge along the Lebanon-Israel border, where a fragile ceasefire coexists with continued military strikes. Warnings of escalation, political divisions and deep uncertainty over the future course of this conflict. This comes as Hezbollah rejects the peace talks and vows to confront Israel at all fronts. Remember, Hezbollah has rejected Lebanon's push towards direct talks with Israel. Hezbollah leader Naim Qassem calls it a grave sin and warned that it could destabilize the country further. The Iran-backed military group has laid out 5 core conditions for peace. Let's tell you about them. They want Israel to stop the aggression via land, sea or air. They demand IDF's full withdrawal from all occupied territories, the release of all prisoners, the return of displaced people to their regions, and the reconstruction of war-damaged areas. Now, Qassem's comments and demands come at a moment of increasing political and military activity inside Lebanon. Lebanese President Joseph Aoun, meanwhile, has taken a very different line. Responding sharply to Hezbollah's statement, he defended diplomatic engagements with Israel as necessary to end the conflict. In fact, he's accused Hezbollah indirectly, saying that those who have dragged Lebanon into this war have committed a treason. Meanwhile, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz has warned that Hezbollah's defiance would bring catastrophic consequences for Lebanon. The situation on the ground remains fragile and volatile. Remember, the Israeli military began strikes on Hezbollah infrastructure in Lebanon's Bekaa Valley and other southern areas. The IDF said the operations targeted military-related sites. Military activities have intensified as well along Israel's northern frontier. Army vehicles and tank convoys were seen near the border. The deployment, remember, comes after Israel remains on a high alert following warnings of a hostile aircraft in the region. Heavy smoke continued to billow from southern Lebanon. This was seen from the Israeli side of the border, where fighting between Israel and Hezbollah continues. This also comes after both sides accused each other of breaching the fragile truce. Evacuation orders have been issued for several towns north of the Litani River, which fall outside the designated buffer zone, but they're now being treated as active operational areas. This yellow line, which is a buffer zone, extends roughly 10 kilometers into the Lebanese territory. It remains under Israeli military control, with residents warned not to return to their homes. The human toll of this continuing conflict has been growing as well. Just a day before the latest developments, Lebanon's health ministry reported that 14 people were killed in Israeli strikes in the south. It marked the deadliest day since the recent ceasefire began. An Israeli soldier was killed, in fact, as a military helicopter sent to airlift wounded troops that was targeted after Hezbollah fighters launched a drone strike against Israeli forces. Prime Minister Netanyahu also paid his condolences. The conflict has now taken a heavy toll, with more than 2,500 people who've been killed and over 7,700 wounded in Lebanon since it began. The United Nations peacekeeping force has confirmed the death of an Indonesian peacekeeper in a recent blast, with a preliminary UN probe indicating an Israeli tank shell as the cause. Lebanon now finds itself divided between diplomatic engagement and armed resistance, with the government pushing towards negotiation and Hezbollah flatly rejecting any direct contact with Israel, as both sides entrench their positions. At a time when Michael Jackson's biopic is making waves globally, the late music star's iconic white rhinestone-encrusted glove is going up for auction in California. The bidding starts at $50,000 and the piece is expected to fetch around $100,000. The glove was gifted to Michael Jackson's personal artist, Paul Bedard, in 1984 after he created an artwork at Neverland featuring Jackson alongside other famous figures, all wearing his glove.
Michael first wore the glove, kind of debuted it at the Motown special in 1983. So really, as that album was kind of taking over the world, Michael was performing wearing the white glove. So it was really associated with his Thriller album.
The glove also featured in the recently released Hollywood biopic Michael, where the pop star's nephew, Jafar Jackson, essays his role.
The glove is just made of crystals and it's so iridescent. They're stitched closely together. So the way it was made, where the light kind of captures it, it was specifically made to be kind of iridescent and capture the light. And it's just really stunning in person.
Meanwhile, another white glove of Jackson is up for auction in France with an estimated price of 100,000 to 150,000 euros, which is nearly $178,000. With the biopic Michael running successfully in theaters, collectors are now hoping that a resurgence in his popularity will make Jackson memorabilia more sellable again.